Hello and welcome to Podmas Day 4. I hope you've enjoying Podmas so far. Well, I stumbled on that. Amazing. What a good start to the recording. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. I have. It's been great. I've loved it. I'm recording to you today from my kitchen where I am sort of cleaning up, making coffee, getting myself ready for the day. I used to be ready to start work at 8, but things have shifted, our routine has shifted, and such is life. I think as somebody who works from home, and I'm sure lots of you will relate to this, basically I bend to fit everybody else. So yeah, my husband starts work later, so then I start work later accordingly in a way. So just putting my toaster away. And can I just tell you, I feel like I really want to write about the surprising zero waste swaps that I've made because they're quite random. Yeah, maybe I won't. It sounds boring now that I'm saying it. Right, anyway, let's talk about today's episode, or today's prompt, which is the worst piece of business advice, or the worst piece of advice you've ever been given. I can't remember if I said business advice or advice, but I kind of think it's the same thing, really. Business advice is just advice, isn't it? This is a tough one, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this episode last 12 minutes. Although I don't have to, I can make it smaller. I just really like the neatness of all the episodes being... In fact, I think on iTunes they're 11 minutes, because they're 11 minutes and 50 seconds, and I'm quite enjoying the challenge of making every single episode the exact same time. Well, I've managed to fill about a minute talking about the time of the episode, so maybe I will get it to 11 minutes and 50 seconds after all. Yeah, the worst piece of advice I've ever been given. So I think this is kind of twofold. I couldn't narrow it down to one singular piece of advice, but I would say that any advice that advises you to not be yourself and to do something that doesn't feel in line with your values or makes you feel icky, that's bad advice. And I've had some of that, of course, from lots of different people, in lots of different scenarios, in lots of different ways, and about lots of different things. What else can I add in? And I wouldn't want to pinpoint any one. I haven't got a snappy little quote for you that I think is complete bullshit. Although I have to say, we all have the same 24 hours that Beyonce does, can really just fuck off and die, because I don't have the same 24 hours as her. I just don't. Because my 24 hours is managed by me, and I don't have a team to help me navigate that 24 hours. I'm going to do some balancing now because I'm taking my coffee over to the sofa. So that is a terrible piece of advice. And in fact, I think some affirmations and manifestation kind of advice, I think, can all just get in the sea. But aside from that, I just think the umbrella that all bad advice sits under for me is when it's trying to force you to do something, or when it's advising you to take a path that doesn't feel good to you. And an example of this would be and we all do it, and it's actually not the person who's giving the advice's fault at all, of course it's not, but when people tell you to sell in a certain way, or a course that maybe gives you a blueprint to follow, and I'm not saying that isn't right and it doesn't work for some people, because of course it does. I'm yawning again. Why do I always yawn when I'm recording? Actually, I am quite tired, to be fair, so that's probably why. I just don't believe that there is a one-size-fits-all approach to for anything. Nothing. There just isn't, is there? So any advice that veers into that territory becomes kind of null and void for me. And the reason I'm saying it's not that person's fault is because at various points in your life, you're going to be more susceptible to and more vulnerable and more open to needing to hear that advice and letting it seep in. And really, I honestly think, and this is completely personal to me, I really think that when I fall into that trap, it's because I'm just feeling vulnerable and unsure of myself and low in confidence and desperate for a shortcut. That is honestly, that is when I fall for charming but shit advice. Yeah. I'm sure quite a lot of you will relate to this. And it's really hard, isn't it? Because we all fundamentally probably want to trust the people who are giving us advice. So it's not in most people's nature to question every single person. But actually, it's a really good thing if you do. You don't have to question them to their face. But, I really try to question things in my own mind and put things through a filter of, does this feel good for me? Because I'm very, very susceptible to just believing tripe and feeling that the other person is always right and I'm not. Which makes me a dream, probably, for a marketer's dream. But, yeah, which makes my path a little wiggly because I get distracted by bad advice along the way. And some bad advice that I've been given this year is definitely been around selling and just doing and pricing and just doing things in a way that my gut was telling me didn't feel good. And it's not even like the advice was malicious or designed to make me feel bad. It just, I should have seen that advice for what it was, which is fine for some people and not fine for me. I actually think that I'm just rambling now to try and make it 11 minutes and 50 seconds, and there really is no point to doing that. You've all got better things to be doing in your day than listening to me ramble on. I just wanted to say a huge, huge thank you for taking part in Podmas 2018. It's been so much fun so far, and we're only on day 4. I'm glad it's only 12 days and not 24, because I think 24 days would be a lot. And yeah, do go to the highlights, the Podmas highlights in my bio, because I've saved anyone who's tagged me, and yeah, anyone who's tagged me in their stories, I've saved it to that highlight reel. So you can flick through and have a look at everybody else and discover new people. There's some brilliant people who are taking part, and yeah, with very open hearts and minds and all the rest of it. I am going to sit in front of Greenleaf and do my accounts, because I'm doing admin-y stuff in the run-up to Christmas. I'm not really doing any creative writing, nothing like that, which is equal parts good and bad. It's a bit boring and my day is a bit dull, but it means that it's mindless, which is nice. Yes, so have a brilliant, brilliant Tuesday. I will speak to you all tomorrow.